Upcoming in this new update, we're getting another farmable quotation mark unit, Rhapthorne. How useful is Rhapthorne? Should you be focusing on the all-out battle? Stay tuned, and I'll let you know. All right, let's just go over Rhapthorne initially. For being a farmable unit, it's decent, but it does have some potential shortfalls, and we'll kind of go through the skills initially. Leadership effect is reducing enemy ZAM resistance by 25%. It has some uses, but the only thing is that you want to try to keep Rhapthorne away from most units from damaging it. So I'm not sure how often you're actually going to be using this, uh, and debuff effect per se, but it can be useful if you're running a ZAM team. Also, if you've got the Dark Dragon Barbers, then this is a very powerful skill on top of it as well. And there's some other units that you can run along as well with the ZAM and have some real good power. Its first skill, Lullaby, is actually a really useful skill on enemies that are neutral or weak to sleep. It says puts one enemy to sleep with a high probability. If they are weak to sleep, it's a guarantee. If they're neutral, it's around a 60% chance. Might even be a little higher. But it's a high probability of putting an enemy to sleep. So it is actually a really, really useful first skill. And can lead to some nice strategies for battles. So important there. Second one's Roaring Tempest, inflicts large whoosh damage on all enemies, and Pitch Dark is ZAM spell damage that has very large range. All in all, has decent damage, and will actually get some good damage later on as well. But on top of it, that Lullaby or the sleep skill is incredibly useful for certain PvE and even some PvP battles. If you notice that the enemy or the unit that you're most worried about is weak to sleep. It's also a decent unit because right now our meta is evasion. And from a damage standpoint, Rhapthorne can really do some good damage, even though the elements are not exactly the elements you want to be using against the dodge units. So there is some weaknesses there. First Awakening nullifies damage one time. Going to be pretty honest, it only requires one, and you should have enough. And I'll explain how to get there to get to about the third one fairly easily if you can unlock Rhapthorne. And the other two is not as necessary. Getting the zap resistance is good. Bang is the second one. Restoring MP and Pitch Dark plus 5% is good. The rarely 20% increases spell potency and effects for one turn at 50%. So on average, on every fifth turn, you will get that increase, which does really help with its damage or potency with the Lullaby, because at that point it's guaranteed, or will be just nearly guaranteed actually for a normal resist, and obviously guaranteed if it's weak. And as I said, Pitch Dark another 5%. It's not really necessary because I just don't see. It's not consistent enough to worry about too much. The stats though you are going to worry about, but first we're going to get how to get. It's going to be like another Death Mountain type skill where you need to make 5 parties in advance. There's going to be a normal, hard, and very hard. The normal and hard are actually going to be fairly easy. The very hard will be a little bit more difficult, but in all ways, you could be able to defeat them with 150 weight or less, even with the very hard. Then there's EX stages on top of it, but you'll get Rhapthorne on very hard, and you get stuff called Proof of Rhapthorne for clearing missions. With the proofs, you can get the shards to upgrade Rhapthorne. Um, all 5 missions for normal will have 45 weight or less. No deaths, no recovery. Hard is 70 weight, no deaths, 3 units or less. And very hard is 150 weight, no death or 4 or less units. So, fairly easy, what I'll say, fairly easy missions to go through. It's not some of the most difficult. It will require planning. Generally, the units will go through either elements, or most of them are actually based on debuffs. So as long as you're strong against the debuffs, you'll be fine. Rhapthorne stats. HP and defense are incredibly low, especially combo. 930 HP, 285 defense. This is why I said the leadership effect you might not use nearly as much as you expect, because that combination is just so small. The agility and wisdom, though, are pretty good at 456 and 460, and that MP at at 5th Awakened with 130 stats at 530. It's going to last long enough for you to cast multiple spells, especially if you're looking for sleep. You'll be able to use it continuously. And with its 3rd Awakening, the ability to do small mana, you'll be able to cast sleep basically every turn if you need to just keep one enemy asleep until you're ready to deal with it. The attack is 297, movement is 2, and the weight is 65. One more thing to also disclose is that the nullified damage only lasts 99 turns. Why am I saying that? There might be some sneaky plans that you can do with stuff and you might actually be using over 100 turns. So I just want to make sure that people understand that it's only 99 turns. But from 99.9% of the time that you're going to be doing all this stuff, it's going to be an issue, or not an issue at all, and you'll be able to avoid 1 nullify, 1 damage, which at least make sure that you'll be able to do it for 2 turns, at least until a hero shows up. Preferred weapon, I'm going to go a little different here, and we're going to go with Dark God's Wand. This is the Dragon Quest VIII Rhapthorne's challenge, the original Rhapthorne. If you don't have Rhapthorne, Dark God's Wand works really, really well with Rhapthorne. But with the Wisdom plus 28, Spell Power plus 4, you can use the Magic Wand from the metals as well, or any other wand that gives good spell power, as you're going to want to use it for both Swoosh and Zam skills. And obviously for this, you're going to use MP and Wisdom. No real shock here. For the preferred learn skills, honestly, there's a lot you could use with Rhapthorne. Maybe giving it another, personally, I think you can give it another spell, or you could even give it heal. Its wisdom is high enough. Having Rhapthorne be able to heal would be actually somewhat useful as well. So there's a lot of different skills here. You could do Blunt, you can do another element type of any magic skill that you want to use, or heal even. Personally, I would do debuffs, healing, or an attack skill. But with Rhapthorne, the main thing about him is that you're going to be very, very careful of him being attacked. So just making sure it has enough range so that you might be able to protect it, or that Rhapthorne itself is under protection constantly, is going to be key, especially in like some PvE plans overall, because it is very, very weak to direct attacks. Pros and cons, it's a very good unit for putting units to sleep. That's one of its real big one. It does do very good attacks on turn 2 up to turn 13, with units turned 4 through 12 being ultra powerful, with agility and wisdom being buffed. It does act a little slower, um, but nullifying first damage can be useful for strategies. You can a lot of the AI can occasionally act funky when it knows it can't hit you or won't do damage, and you can force it to maneuver around you. Um, Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a little wonky there, but it does have some very interesting abilities for that damage. But the cons is it will die most of the time on its second hit. So if it gets hit after it gets hit the first time, it's basically on death watch. And if it's not going to get hit on and die, then you're probably attacking something that you don't aren't focusing very heavily on. So it has a real serious con. Should you be focusing on this? Honestly, Rhapthorne has his uses. It is not a horrifically difficult set compared to some of the others. Um, but it is free for stamina, so if you can do that, I think it would be worth your time. Rhapthorne, as I say, I am a huge fan of the ability for Lullaby. That's something that I can see that you can use and have a very good effect for. Just because of that high probability sleep, which means you don't like that enemy, you can put it to sleep, leave it alone for a while, and deal with it later. Fantastic. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is going to be was a quick review of Rhapthorne. It is an interesting unit, so I hope you guys do enjoy. Good luck, and see you later. Goodbye.